Hello Hanji Kidda, what's up people? Back with another video, and today we're previewing Arsenal versus Ipswich Town. Before we get into anything though, we got to do the shout outs. Massive shout outs to Angel Care Homes for all your care needs in the Black Country and Birmingham area. Massive shout outs to Mark Darcy for all your formal menswear needs. And of course to Desi Ballers, highlighting all South Asians at all levels in the beautiful game. I'll put their detail in the description, so make sure you check them out. And if you're brand new here, or if you ain't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn the notifications on. We want to hit 5k subscribers by the end of the season. We're going just over a year now, and we're bringing some quality content. So tell your friends, tell your family, and let's help this channel grow together. But yeah, man, let's get to it then. Folks, Town are travelling to the Emirates for only the second time in our history. It's going to be the first time we're going there in the Premier League. And I thought, you know what? I need to sit down with an Arsenal fan and a bit of a legend. He's a legend in this space. Some may know him as your favourite footballer's favourite podcaster or interviewer. Some may know him as the Hood's Piers Morgan. And some may know him as the host of the On the Duty podcast. It is Mr. Era. Thank you for joining me, brother. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Oh, thank you for having me on board, man. Thank you, man. I'm all good, man. Great intro.
Well, absolutely gassed. I remember when I think it was Twitter. You followed me back on Twitter about earlier on in the year. I did a little screenshot on my Instagram. I was like, "Mom, I've made it." Do you know what I mean? As someone that watches all these, I mean, for those that don't know, On the Duty is probably one of the most popular in terms of views as well, with interviews. You know, the likes of Joe Gomez you've had on there, Danny Simpson, who of course used to play for Ipswich once upon a time, Lescott, big up Andre Gray, obviously from Wolverhampton as well, where I'm from as well. But yeah, you've had a wealth of talent on there, some really great interviews, and the one with Wilfred Zaha as well, which was a phenomenal interview.
Yeah,
Been a bit political on things as well, but it's really good to hear his thoughts on, the BLM stance and other things as well. And the thing I rate, which is, I guess, where the Hood's Piers Morgans come from, is you don't just do the nicey nice questions, you do press them for answers on things as well. So it's nice to kind of see all that as well. Obviously, without being disrespectful, not as disrespectful as Piers is, but yeah, man, really good. So in terms of like the On the Duty and all this, how did you get into that space? How did you then come up with the idea, and how did the name come about, and etc.?
So I sat down with one of my mates, and I was always thinking about like joining a podcast like space and stuff, just to do like a week to week critiquing football, like matches on the weekend and stuff. And then my mate was like, nah, you're good at talking to people, and we've got all these connections. Like, let's do something. Let's interview footballers, because at the beginning, like during lockdown, there weren't many like interview podcast, like football podcasts, where interviewing players. So we just contacted our connects, and then most of season one is most of the people we all know. And we sat down and said, yeah, let's come up with a name. And then like On the Duty, so Cockney rhyming slang, On the Duty bench is means sitting on the bench, innit? So come and sit on the bench, have conversation, innit? Yeah, On the Duty, yeah. So we just broke it down, and then it flowed, innit? So that's how it came about, and that's how I got into the space.
And yeah, and you've been really successful. Like I said, some brilliant guests. I'll put all the details in the description. For those that haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching all those interviews. I think there's 3 seasons in there as well. There's some nice snippets as well, nice interviews you've done. I think when Conor Gallagher was at Palace as well, and you had a bit of a, that was quite an insightful interview as well. I know it was a short one, but that was quite insightful as well. But yeah, man, really good content.
Thank you.
And now, obviously, you're wearing that Arsenal badge. It is obviously Arsenal versus Ipswich Town. Like I said, only the first time we're playing you guys in the Emirates in the Premier League. Last time we played you, I think it was 2011 in the Coca-Cola Cup or League Cup or whatever it was called back then, when we lost 3-0. We did beat you 1-0 in the home leg before that, where Priskin scored, and I think Fabregas said that we played like a rugby team. We don't play football the way and it was Mick McCarthy football, so as you can imagine. But I mean, Arsenal, obviously, you're an Arsenal fan. How have they been going on this season? Because I saw, was it Patrice Evra once said, Arsenal, I call them Netflix because it's always next season. We're always waiting for next season, which did make me chuckle. But, Arteta seems, obviously, he's done some really good stuff there. Arsenal are really pushing on. what's the expectations? What's the realistic kind of outcomes this season, and how has your season gone so far?
I'll start with season going so far. I feel like it's been tough because no one's had a fixture run like we have. We played, I think, the top 6 within like the first 10 games, and I think like four of them games we was a 10 men and we drew, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god, our season's is over." But like come on, like we were like bottom half of the table doing what Man United are doing and Tottenham are doing, even worse, not too long ago when Arteta first stepped in. And now the last 2 seasons we pushed Man City. Other than Liverpool, no one else has pushed them to like the brink of clenching the title. And then this season, like it's been, if we didn't have the fixture run that we did, then maybe we'd be closer to Liverpool. Or even if like I know it's happened now, like officials and decisions haven't gone our way, but it's always the what if. But I'm optimistic with the season. I'm not Arteta out. I'm very like positive, like what we're doing. And people moan about the draws against Everton, but before that we scored we beat Sporting, I don't know what, 5-0, and then we smashed someone else. And then Palace, we just scored 8 goals against them in 2 games. I was at the League Cup game at the Emirates. Like it's just, you just got to have faith in it. Like it's just one of them. Liverpool flying, and then we just got to keep ticking on.
And it's true, obviously, with the fact you've played the top 6 or whatever beforehand means hopefully there is a bit of a easier run for you guys. I mean, from an outside looking in, and certainly like growing up, obviously, I was born in 1987, so I grew up, really started following football around 94, 95, and around that time, obviously as an Ipswich fan, but you did watch the Premier League, and it was always Man United and Arsenal. My dad's a Man United fan, so naturally I liked Arsenal. Ian Wright, I used to love Ian Wright, and then obviously later you had like Henry and Nelka. Some of the players Arsenal have produced over the years. And the thing that happened though is when you guys went to the Emirates, you haven't had that Premier League title there since. So there's been a lot of nearly moments, and like you said, you're pushing them on the brink, and Arteta's playing a really good style of football. You've got some really good talent there. But you are going to be without, it looks like you're going to be without your star boy, Mr. Bukayo Saka, because he limped off, I think, on the 5-1 win, didn't he?
Early on as well.
Sorry, I was saying I think he's ruled out for that game. So who's probably going to be coming in? And we'll get into lineups in a bit, but how's that going to impact you? Because yes, you've got depth on your bench, but you're talking about Saka, and no disrespect to maybe Trossard, maybe, but it's not. There's a
I think his goals and assists and like the way he can make things happen, like his link up with Odegaard is something special. So something we'll definitely miss. Can Trossard come in? Trossard has chipped in with a few goals, but like you say, he's no Saka. He's a tidy player. I'm a big fan of his. But yeah, he's no Saka in it. So just like any like if Liverpool lost Salah, they would lose out on, let's say, 10 goals within the period that 10 goals in this, like including assists that he goes missing when he's injured. So we're in the same kind of boat now. So hopefully something pops up in January where we can like do a little emergency loan signing or something. But that never happened.
Yeah, maybe, and obviously you've got it's Christmas time, and it looks like Jesus is about. So he found a bit. I don't know if that was intentional by Arsenal or whether release him in December, get him out, and he'll start firing. But he seems to have did score a hat trick, I think, in the cup, and then
hat trick, and then 2 on the weekend.
So 5 goals in the space of a week's not a bad turnout for him. Because I remember at one point there was conversations about, do Arsenal need a striker, and rumours about Ivan Toney and all the rest of it, and looking at who could they possibly have. But Arteta seems to be playing, finding the best out of everyone, really, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'll tell you what then. So in terms of lineups then, and predicted lineups, are we expecting, so what I can see is you guys have played a 4-3-3. That's been consistent throughout the season, which is the same formation that Newcastle played against us on the weekend and battered us at home. My concern from an Ipswich point of view is that if we try and play football against you guys, we're going to get turned over. And whether you feel like you know, like little signs and all the rest of it. So like the referee, as an example, he's Darren England. Last time we had him this season, you haven't had him this season, but we had him this season was when we was last in North London when we beat Spurs 2-1. So you're like, oh, maybe. But then the last couple of Arsenal games.
That's not a hard thing to do, you know, beating Spurs. It's not a hard thing to do.
Yeah, well, listen, we've only got 2 wins this season. So I'm still celebrating it. And I'll be celebrating it this season. But last time he actually refed at the Emirates was back in April 23 when Arsenal played a promoted team in Leeds United. Actually, they'd been there for 2 seasons. Played Leeds and they battered them 4-1. So now I'm thinking, right, if we try and play football, because if I remember Bielsa's side, and we're just going to get turned over. So I'm hoping we kind of play like we did at Tottenham and go 5 at the back or whatever. But in terms of, is Arteta likely to rest players, given that obviously you've got the holiday season? And I mean, we're playing again on the Monday. I think you guys might be as well then. I think everyone's on the Monday. So there is a quick turnaround on fixtures. Is he just going to say, you know what, I'll just rest the first 11. I'll be nice. Ipswich need 3 points and back myself.
We need them as much as you, brother. So I don't think you'd rest many players. Like maybe a little 1 or 2 changes, like Declan Rice to come in to step in and start. Calafiori maybe start. But I think you play your strongest team, especially in a position where we're chasing Chelsea and Liverpool. You got to play your strongest team and try and get the win first, and then once the game's settled and won, then you rest players, and then these are top athletes at the biggest clubs in the world. Even like, no offense to Ipswich, even Ipswich, like these players go through the best recovery, so they'll be ready for the next game unless something drastic happens. But yeah, man.
Well, when you just said it, like, oh yeah, Calafiori, because you signed him this season, didn't you?
Yeah,
he's back, isn't he? And at the moment, the young academy, is it Lewis Skelly? I think.
Yeah, Lewis Skelly, he's doing well, but like, to be fair, I'd keep him in and maybe Calafiori just come off the bench and just get minutes, work his way back into the team. But again, that's the depth we've been lacking the last few seasons. You know what I'm saying? One injury and we're screwed. But now, like you say, Calafiori, big signing in the summer, and he's on the bench courtesy of an 18-year-old. So it's good to see.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, and we're seeing it as well with the squad depth as well. Where again, we've signed a lot of players that have potential, but then some players are yet to be proven in the Premier League, and then it's without our first 11 we struggle. Our biggest mistake is we didn't sign another striker in the window, which meant we went in with Hurst and Delap. And no disrespect to Ali Al-Hamidi, I'm a big fan of his, really wicked guy, but he's raw. He's come from like a year ago. He's playing at AFC Wimbledon in League Two.
Yeah.
So he needs a time, and the best thing for his development is to go out and play regularly in the Champ or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of Ipswich, then, what are your kind of memories of Ipswich over the years? And is there any kind of, in the current team as well, is there any kind of players that you look out for, or you think, could give Arsenal a bit of a hard time on Friday?
My memories.
I'm sorry, I was going to say, made of us so far this season.
Do you know what? I'll start with the last question. You lot actually play good football. Like, you actually try, and I think your manager has a good philosophy. Like, I've got a style of play. I'm going to implement it. Yes, I'll do tactical. Not like the old Southampton manager who just got sacked, who just plays a certain way, or Ange who just plays a certain way. You guys can adapt to your situations and opposition. It's just the quality is probably a lot better. If you manage to stay up in the Prem, I feel like you lot will be one of them household names that fight relegation, but like stay up, like a old Palace or Watford, and like them sort of things. Like then just grow into it and just earn a bit more money as a club, and then bring steady players in. But yeah, man, I'm quite impressed. Delap, what a player, by the way. Yeah. Have you got him on a perm, or is it loan?
Yeah. So we signed him. We signed him for 15 million plus add-ons. There was all these rumours about, Man City have got a buyback clause. And I said very clearly, I don't want to be that guy to say ITK or whatever, because I don't really go and promote all that. But obviously you make certain phone calls or whatever, and you get told, no, there's no buyback. Man City have a first refusal, and I think the way that works is, say if Arsenal come in and bid 60 million, then Man City could bid 60 million as well. It would be accepted.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, for me, he's young, he's powerful, English striker. I did a preview of this for West Ham with Steve O the Madman, and he
Oh
was
yeah.
talking about it as well, and he was saying, he could be the next Harry Kane. And I've revised that since, and I've said, well, no, he's going to be a better Harry Kane. And I don't mean to disrespect to Harry Kane, but I think the lap's going to win trophies, and the lap's going to he's disciplined to do that striker role. Some strikers, if you want to be that in the formation we play, being a target man up top, you've got to be disciplined to stay up there. There's no point in you coming back to help your left back. Like, if you help your left back out, who's up top? So he is quite disciplined in that, and we missed him massively because he was suspended, which was a bizarre rule, by the way. So after the Wolves game, obviously it all kicked off with the players between Cunha, Ait Nouri, and Delap. And Ait Nouri got a yellow card for kicking off. And then apparently in the rest report, he said, because I'd showed him a yellow card, the rule states I need to show the other player a yellow card. I'm like, well, that's stupid.
See
So
that? That's the same as like doing a crime. If me and you done something, whether you done more, it's guilty by association, isn't it? So
it's just, yeah, I know, but I mean, referees. One of the things I've been talking about on my reviews, like match reviews and vlogs and all the rest of it, is putting the highlight on the referee as well. Because my issue with this is everyone talks about VAR. I'm a guy that works in technology and AI and all the rest of it. I'm a technologist, right? So VAR can work. The technology works. The people using it don't understand it. Like simple things, like you could very easily go run some lines across the pitch which are only detectable to TV cameras, rather than worrying about the angle of this, that, and the other and how it's perceived. Talk about cameras. Look at cricket. You got cameras in the wickets. Why have we not got them in the goalpost and corner flags?
But even they got that bird's eye view camera. Why don't they just use that? Then it's like a bird's eye view. It's easier to see the lines rather than that awkward 46-degree angle that they use where it's like, do you know what I'm saying?
I remember, was it at St James's or was it Arsenal? Was it last season or season before? It was Arsenal v Newcastle.
It's at St James's.
And
Went off.
when the goal went in, and the thing is, I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, why is there not a camera in that goalpost? Why is there not a camera there? And this is my point. It's like with the referee, see a player makes a bad foul, or say the referee doesn't see it, he can then get retrospectively punished, this, that, and the other. With the referees, it seems that there's no retrospective action if they make mistakes. So if there's no like punishment, then do you really what's the if I make a mistake, deliberate mistake or whatever as a referee, what's the issue?
They might have to ref at the Championship or League One for a week, and then they're back in the Premier the week after. So they're very protected. They should either be interviewed at the end of the game, nothing crazy, just ask them some questions, or be mic'd up so the whole ground can hear them.
Well, that's it. And you think about other sports, you've got it, and there's no other sport in the world where officiating it gets so much wrong. Not just criticism, but so much wrong as well. But yeah, Darren England, obviously, we're going off. I'm hoping he has a great game, and for us, and he gives 2 penalties or whatever to Ipswich, and we do a penalty in the Prem or whatever. No one else will probably miss it anyway. But yeah, it's a game that I'm excited to go. I've never been to the Emirates. I didn't go to that cup game before, so looking forward to obviously soaking all that atmosphere up and seeing, like I have been this season, you're seeing the difference in quality of players. When we played Newcastle on the weekend, that front three and the speed of it was just amazing. They are quality, and then I'm thinking, oh yeah, we've got okay, Saka's out, but you've still got Jesus who's finding form or whatever. You've still got quality players throughout that Arsenal team. But yeah, sorry. So in terms of Delap is a player obviously that's been rated. Another player that a lot of players have kind of commented on Arsenal connection there is Amari Hutchinson.
Yeah, big fan of his. Obviously he was an Arsenal lad. I feel like he left too soon. Like maybe he should have gone out on a few loans and learnt the game rather than the big I'd say big wage move to Chelsea. And then it's not worked out, and now he's ended up at Ipswich. And again, you just need to play. Like he's living proof that you just need to play. So he played nearly every game in the champ, well, for you lot, pivotal in your promotion. And then now he's playing every week. So it's just I'm happy for him that he's found his feet. But it could go a lot. It happens a lot where it goes left for other players who rush to leave your nurtured club. But I'm happy for him, man. Big his as well.
And I think McKenna's a big factor in that because he was a youth coach and all the rest of it. I think he can kind of put that arm around him and show him the way. And obviously, like our captain Sammy Morsey as well, he's a leader and he'll kind of show him the way on things as well. So, he's been phenomenal signing for us. He's a record transfer signing. So because we've been out of the Premier League for so long, before this season, our record transfer was joint between Matteo Serini and Herman Hreiderson at £5 million. So that was our record transfer. Now we just spent 100 million in one transfer. Like I keep pinching myself, thinking, is this Ipswich? Like we used to shopping in not even just in Poundland, but in the bargain. You know, they look at the bargain bucket. Yeah. We used to, like we signed Ollie Hawkins to try and win us promotion from League One, and it was no disrespect to Ollie Hawkins, but nah. And it's a telling sign that a lot of the players that we signed under that era are now in National League or League Two or whatever, and haven't really been able to cut it there. Excuse me, sorry.
No,
so in terms of predictions, then score predictions, how do you think the game's going to unfold? Where can Arsenal win the game, and where's the weaknesses that probably Ipswich could expose to maybe get a draw or win it as well?
Where can we win the game? If we get an early goal and we find our feet early on, then it could be a long day for Ipswich. But I feel like if we dominate a half, like say we're like 3-0 up in the first half, then we kind of take our foot off the gas and just cruise rather than go out there and just punish. So yeah, early goals for us. If we get that done, then I'm sorry, mate, you might want to leave early. But yeah, like as much as I love Lewis Skelly and how he's playing at the moment, I feel like he's still young. So if you put him up against someone experienced, or even like someone who's as tricky, young, like Amari come up against him, or another tricky winger, maybe could cause problems because he plays inverted. So there's a lot of space. Although Gabriel does come around and we sit in as a free, there's still that, if you've got some raw pace or someone who can cause problems, then that's the outlet. I think that's our only weak spot at the minute. Apart from like Jesus is obviously scoring goals, but he's not like a number 9 who's a fox in the box who just stays in the box. He likes to float around, cause problems for midfielders. I feel like, that's like Morsey, your skipper. He won't be as much as the other games, I think.
Yeah, so Morsey's suspended. He got his Sammy's out, so that's going to be a big miss. We have got Jens.
It might be more than 3 at half time then.
Well, for me, I think we need to play with a 5, right? And then we need to do a 5-3-2 almost, or a 5-3-1-1 or something like that. Or what was it last time? 5-2. What we did at Tottenham, where it was almost like a Christmas tree. The problem is last time we had Axel, so I would be looking to bring Greaves back in, have a 3 in the middle of Greaves, Burgess, and O'Shea, Davis, and then Ben Johnson as the wing backs, and then in your middle probably Kayust and Taylor, and then Amari, Chaplin, and then Amari and Smodics, because Smodics likes to score when he's away from Portman Road, and then the lap up top. But I think we're going to have to be compact, and we're going to have to. Our game plan is going to have to be soak up the pressure and hit you on the break. And it's going to be people like Amari, who's a ball carrier. Smodics can get us up the pitch, and Delap, give Delap the ball. Like his goal against, it wasn't the first goal against Wolves. That was down to him. He just bundled Semedo and just ran down that wing, and he was like men v boys. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing that battle because that centre back pairing of Arsenal is probably in the recent couple of years as well has probably been one of the best centre back pairings in the Premier League. So to see how now Delap to go up against the very best, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it'll test him, see where he's at in the game. It'll be good for him as well.
But yeah, like you said, the early goal. I mean, we conceded it against 27 seconds against Newcastle. We conceded in the first minute or 2 minutes against Man United. I think Amari's going to have a big game. I call him Big Game Amari. He turns up for the big games. I think he's going to be on it, and I think being at Emirates will be special for him as well. And I just hope we just, we turn up, man, because we didn't against Newcastle. We looked average and we got punished. And like in the Premier League, you've got probably 3 different leagues, haven't you? You got the bottom part, you got the middle part, and then you got the top. And like for me, Newcastle are in that top part of the league, maybe the bottom part of the top part, right? Champions. I mean, I think in the next 3-4 years they could be challenging for a title as well, if with the right investment and everything, right? But they've the golfing class and just seeing that, and now I'm like, oh, now we're going to go to the Emirates. There's going to be 60,000 Arsenal fans. Everyone's going to be up for it. And the longer it gets and we don't concede, then I'm hoping it can frustrate the crowd, turn people or whatever, and then like we did at Tottenham. And listen, we beat Tottenham for you, so do us a little solid, man, and give us a point or something.
I'm trying to win a trophy, bro. I'm trying to win the league. I was what was I? How old was I when I last won it? I was in school, I think. I'm 30. I was in school, so yeah, man.
Jesus, but it has been a minute since Arsenal won a major trophy. Obviously, you had the FA Cups. You had some cups under Arteta.
FA Cups are cute, man, but we want a league, man. You don't do a open top parade for the FA Cup, bro.
Hey, we did in bloody 78 when we beat you in the FA Cup final. Yeah, before mine and yours.
I don't know about 78.
We both way before both of our time anyway.
Yeah, of course.
So just very quickly before we close, where can people find your content? Where can I find you? And what's next? What have you got anything in the pipeline lined up ready?
Yeah. So we're in Instagram and Twitter, Total Media Productions, TikTok as well. My Instagram is Mr. Error. We've got season 4 filming. Can't say who, but we're dropping very soon. That's early in the new year. Some big names on there as well. One you'd like, so I can't let you know, but one you'd like as well. But yeah, man, we're building, we're grinding. Like we'll be back soon, man. I know there's a lot of people asking questions, comment on the YouTube, watching old videos. So yeah, we'll be back very soon, man.
The demand is there definitely, and I can't wait for it either. I'll put all the details in the description. So again, people, if you haven't seen it, make sure you engage, connect, and subscribe, and all that goodness as well. But Mr. Error, Mr. Piers Morgan, Mr. Judy himself, thank you very much for this. And hopefully you don't take it personal when we maybe nick it out 1-0, ball off the lap's ass into the back of the net, and VAR doesn't give you 2 penalties and you're fuming or whatever. And then hopefully we'll talk again later on in the season in Portman Road.
Defo, man. I'll come down to Portman Road, man. Defo, man. Good luck Saturday, man. We both need it. We both need the points.